I think everyone is pretty excited about the Blazor support in .NET MAUI. So in this video, we're going to see how to access the device sensors from .NET MAUI and use that in your Blazor application. Let's go. But before we dive straight in, let's have a look at the thing that we're going to create in this video. And here you can see the Blazor application running in a .NET MAUI app on Android. And here you can see forecast 458 blah, 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 which is actually a longitude coordinate that I've gotten from Microsoft.Maui.Essentials, which is accessing the sensors through our device, through our .NET MAUI application inside of our Blazor application. Let's just quickly go check out how to do that yourself. And here we are in Visual Studio 2022. You can see that running on the left. On the right, you can see the actual application running on my physical device, which is mirrored through the Your Phone app, which is a application built into Windows 10 and Windows 11 for some types of mobile devices. It can mirror your screen to your PC. For other mobile devices, you can turn to Visor, which is a really great solution for that as well. And on the left, you can see my file new .NET MAUI Blazor application. So that is a new thing within .NET MAUI. We can incorporate a Blazor application. I have another video on that should pop up on your screen right now, or you can find it down in the video description below. I will talk a little bit more about that right now, because one interesting question that came up under one of these videos is how can I actually, access the native device sensors through my Blazor application? And that is what we are going to see in this video, which is it's probably surprisingly more easy than you would think, and also more familiar than you would think, because we're going to use concepts that you already know. If you've already worked with Blazor and Xamarin Essentials, that is. So here I have opened the fetch data. So this will load some weather forecast data, which is just hard-coded, so nothing special, but it will get the point across for the example that I'm going to show you. And on the right, you can see here, if you've worked with Blazor before and just did file new Blazor application, you would have seen this template, but then in a desktop web browser thing, now it's all responsive and incorporated in this .NET MAUI application. And you can see here that we can just go to this menu. We have a counter that works, and we also have this fetch data, which will show you how to fetch data through a JSON data source and kind of get you started on how to do that. Now, for this weather forecast, let's just add a little thing right here that's going to show you the location that the weather forecast is coming from. Again, this is hard-coded data, but I just want to show you how to access the location sensor. And if you know that, then you also know how to do it for the other sensors and other APIs on your device. Of course, there's multiple ways to do this, so I'm just going to show you the shortcut code in here. If you want to do it like more in a MVVM or dependency injection way, you can already see here in Blazor you have this inject thing. If you want to know more about that, please let me know down in the comments, and I will make videos about that as well. In fact, I think I already have a video on dependency injection for Blazor, so I will link that in the video description below. But you can inject this service in here. Right now, what I'm going to do is just use Xamarin Essentials, which is now called Microsoft.Maui.Essentials, to put that in here and actually, access the data from right here. So let me just add this using right here, because this is the way that you add a using in a Razor file, and we can just say Microsoft.Maui.Essentials, because that is where Xamarin Essentials moved to. It's now also part of .NET 6. So we have Essentials, and what we can then do is scroll down here to our code block. I'm going to introduce a little field here. Let's say private location. Location is an object type that comes together from Essentials as well. That's a thing that they use to pack all the data that's together with a location. So let's do that. And then here, this is something that is built into Blazor, our override on initialized async. So here we can basically start getting the data for this page. You can see it already gets the forecast through this forecast surface. So also let's initialize the location right here. So let's just say location is, and then we can say geolocation, which is exactly the same as with Xamarin Essentials dot get location async. And this is async, so we need to await this as well. So we can save that, and basically this is much of what is needed to get the location, and now you suddenly have it in your Blazor page. So let's just add a little thing right here at the top of this table. We're going to say H1. Wow, who would have thought that we were using HTML in our videos right now for .NET MAUI, right? So weather forecast, forecast for, and then we're just going to add this location right here, location dot, I don't know, let's make it something. Let's just take the longitude, just because you can do everything here, right? So you will figure out how to show an actual nice location, but this is just to show you how to access the sensors, not to make this header look pretty, right? And what you want to do is do this location, do a little null check right here, just so that whenever it's null and it comes through here, that it doesn't crash. It will automatically update, because that is how Blazor works whenever this is not null anymore. So that's great, but of course we're running in a native application. So in this case, I'm going to show you on Android. So we need to ask the user for the permissions for the locations, right? Because we're still in a mobile app, so we still need to get the right permissions to do all this stuff. And that really didn't change from like how it worked in Xamarin Forms. So let's see how to do that in .NET MAUI. We're going to go over to our Solution Explorer, and then we have this Platforms folder right here with Android, iOS, Mac Catalyst, and Windows. So let's go with the Android one for iOS and that kind of stuff. I'm sure you can figure it out, else check the documentation for Xamarin Essentials right now. So you just have to add a thing to the info plist. I'm sure you can figure that out. The info plist is here in this iOS folder. So please go check that out. So let's start for Android for the with the Android manifest.xml. I think the graphical editor is not quite ready for Visual Studio 2022 yet, so we have to do this manually, which is no problem because there's already permission in here. So let's just copy this one twice. Actually, I'm just going to copy this and put that in here 2 times more. And what I want to do then is make this access course location. There we go. I don't know this from the top of the head. I'm just have a little cheat sheet here at the side monitor, and of course access find location. So then we have all the location permissions right here. And if you want to use this on specific Android API levels, then you also have to request the runtime permissions. So we have to implement that as well. And we can still do that from the main activity that is right here. So let me just copy and paste some code here from off screen, because you don't have to watch me type all this. There we go. And if you've worked with this before, then this should look pretty familiar. I think the onCreate was there by default for Xamarin Forms. It isn't here for MAUI, so we have to kind of put that in here as well to initialize the Microsoft.Maui.Essentials thing right now. So this will initialize the Essentials library. I'm not sure if that's going to change after the previews. Maybe it will become easier, but for now, it's something that we need to do. And also this was something that was in the Xamarin Forms templates when Xamarin Forms 5 was a thing, which will automatically request the permissions at runtime. But for now, we also need to add this manually. Maybe it's coming in future templates for .NET MAUI as well. I don't really know. So what I've been doing while I was talking, I implemented, added some usings right here at the top by using IntelliSense. And this actually should set us up for, running this thing and actually get the location in our Blazor application. So let me just click this start button right here, and let's see what that does. Here we go, our application is coming back up. And here we see our Blazor application again. So now if I go to the menu right here and I go to the fetch data, you can see it asks us for the permission. So that's great. While using the app, that's perfect. And then when it loads, here we go, boom, forecast for 58531949. So now you have some clue where I'm located because this is my physical device and I'm giving you the coordinates right now. I didn't think about this when I prepared the demo, but you will have to figure out the other half. So there's still a lot of ground to cover. But you can see this is how you can access these sensors because I'm showing you now with the location, but this also works, of course, for all the other things that is in Essentials. And if you use the dependency injection, you can either actually use, make this service on the native code, then inject that into Blazor, and you can use all this other stuff as well. So now you can nicely mix this Blazor and .NET MAUI native stuff in one application. For this video, we have seen how to use Microsoft.Maui.Essentials and use that in our Blazor application that lives within a Blazor web view. I didn't even show you that in this video, but it lives in a Blazor web view in .NET MAUI, which is really cool. So you can just communicate through all the things, and which makes it really powerful, right? You can now take your Blazor application that you might already have, or maybe you like to use Blazor more than .NET MAUI and all the other things, so just put that Blazor application into this .NET MAUI shell, and then you suddenly have a Blazor application that you can work with. Sure, you have to do a little bit of tiny things maybe outside of that to get familiar with mobile applications, but a whole new world is basically opened up here, and now you know how to access the sensors and other APIs as well, so that is really great. If something's unclear, please let me know down in the comments, or you want to deep dive into some other things right here, please let me know as well. I'll do my very best to create more videos for you. Other than that, I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please click that little thumb down here below to actually like it and make more people aware of this good stuff that is living in my channel down right here. Please also check if you've subscribed to my channel by now by clicking the subscribe button, ding that little bell to be notified of new content automatically, and I'll be seeing you for my next video. Keep coding.